7 days of rest and sacred renewal. The 5th annual global event for the healing and thriving of Earth and all her inhabitants. During the first 7 days of the new year, we unite around the world to renew ourselves and our sacred bonds with each other and with all of life, with uncompromising commitment to living the truth of who we are. We rebirth ourselves, individually and collectively, as wise and loving stewards of creation. Together, we lay the foundations and prepare for a new era of love and wisdom in action.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to Rest in Resonance. This is day 6, and our theme today is valuing. And this is our offering, Gary and I. Gary, come on your camera. Our offering inside of this global initiative, 7 days of rest and sacred renewal. Every time I see that video, I just I can feel the intention that Shelley and Jan set and invited us into. And I just really want to just take a minute for all of us just to be here right now. Whether this is the first day that you're joining us or whether you've been here several days, let's just take a moment to just breathe and feel the bottom of our feet and just get here. It's a big commitment to make an intention to really start the new year in rest and sacred renewal. And we've been coming every day with our hearts open and sharing our gifts to support us to feel what rest in resonance means, right? We're talking about a frequency of being that we create with our thoughts, words, and deeds. And we're all wanting to uplift that, to come into greater harmony with all of life. And I think that's the essence of valuing today. Because if we value this life, if we value this love, if we value this planet, if we value ourselves first and foremost above all else, imagine the life. We needed a minute, Gary, just to relax because we were busy getting ready for you all today. And we both just needed a moment so that we could actually really drop into why we're here doing this.
I'm thinking about the innovation of the heart rate variability measurement. For those of you who don't know, you can find out from HeartMath. But this epiphany came to me a few months ago when I realized that it wasn't just the heart that could be measured around the smoothness of the curve, but at every scale, like we said, molecular reconnaissance, But if you even look at it in terms of the body, somatic, that broad, the heart rate variability, the soul, the mind, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a way to measure conversely, the chaos that we're in the middle of, right? We are goldfish bowls allowing something to happen, and it's happening more intensively. And this is one of the reasons why Rest in Resonance was created. The belief that it has never been so chaotic on every scale that, like the water in Emoto's experiments and like the cymatics experiment in Thrive, we are the squiggly lines on every scale. And so the role that resonance can play is it speaks to us on a molecular, on a vibrational, on a photonic level. And these strategies are necessary for these times where at every scale we're being jagged. We're focusing on one thing: strategy, tactics, grounding, money, whatever. So let's not forget for a moment that this has been created for our revelation, because it's needed. I personally need it to remember, just even in this moment with you, why this is established, because I got so busy before the call, right?
Yeah.
So thank you for bringing me back home to the remembrance of what this was for.
Yeah. When we're in a state of coherence, which is our natural state, right? This relaxed presence where we feel our connection to all things and that we know that our part has an impact, right? We're really getting that as we learn the new science and as we open up our awareness and we relax our grip and we actually realize that we are in the most profound moment that we could be in right now, where the system is far from equilibrium. And that our presence in coherence is what's going to draw that chaos to itself and lift it to a higher order. It's been happening for 15 billion years, and we're in one of those moments. And what's coming is radically different than what is. So I think the only way that we can really move through it with some grace is to actually begin to relax into resonance with the shift that's occurring on all scales. It's happening on all scales. We're just one cell in that body emerging as something new. And if we come into resonance with that, right, we value our part and our expression, and we come into relationship with something unknowable, but also innately ourselves, then whatever comes has our love, has our presence, has our energy, and we're guided into what we value and how we contribute from that place. And I needed that today. Oops, you're muted, Gary.
Music to my ears, my dear. Music to my ears. I love when you wax on like that, because it's so accurate. So let's experience something. Let's use the power of music. And this track also hasn't been heard very much in the world, but we, through Kif Gallagher at the time, the Social Venture Network, we got this recording of Thich Nhat Hanh. And I wanted to do something after having done 100-piece orchestras with Michael Stillwater on Graceful Passages. I wanted to say, what if we set words simply with only like 7 or 8 tracks rather than hundreds of tracks? What if every sound had a role in shaping our ability to hear the words in a different way, that not just with our minds, but with our hearts and souls and bodies as well? So listen, this is a track called True Success. And I have to tell you that I've always imagined the visuals are going to be very like Burning Man-esque to contrast the flowiness of the music. So just for now, though, let this be an experience inside of you. This is a sonic sanctuary to drop into and see where we are on the other side. Okay.
Business people, they are very eager to succeed. They think of success day and night, and they allow their mind to be possessed entirely by the desire to succeed, to the degree that they ignore their own life and the life of their family. a business become a kind of dictator. They take up all the energy, all the time, and they left their wife, their children alone, suffer very much. Their children can never forgive them because they can give a lot of money to their children, to their wife. And yet people in their family never forgive them because they are not there. They have a father and yet they don't. They have a husband and yet they don't. There was a lady who came to business retreat in Plum Village. And she said that in the beginning she was very happy as the wife of the boss. She enjoyed very much organizing reception and things like that. But finally she found out that she's very lonely because her husband did not have any time for her and for the children. When their son went to the hospital for surgery, he could not come. She had to spend all night with the daughter. And when it's her turn to go for a surgery, he could not come either. She tried to forget her loneliness by doing things like humanitarian work, enroll into a degree to get busy in her study in order to forget her loneliness. But nothing worked. And she always cried. And he said, well, darling, no one can replace me now. I have to wait until a number of years, and then I will retire and will devote all my time and my energy to you and the children. And 6 months later, he got into an automobile accident and was killed at the age of 51. He had said that nobody can replace him, but in 3 days they replaced him. There is a notion that has to be removed, that happiness is when you have more power, more wealth, more success. And that is the thing that sucks you into the future. You have no capacity of living in the present moment. And the teaching of the Buddha is that conditions for your happiness are already more than sufficient in the here and the now. If you are established in the here and the now, you can be very happy today. If a businessman reconsider the notion of success, the notion of happiness, they might be able to focus their life on the present moment, making happiness possible right in the here and the now, not waiting for the future. And if they live on such a foundation of happiness and love, you have more chance to succeed. After that, their family will participate in the business and making the business into a cozy and happy family, where they can take care of the workers and their families. And if their business is a symbol of happiness, and they know that they can do something to help the world, the business now has a meaning. They know what to produce, what to sell, and what not to produce and what not to sell. Because that happiness is not just having a lot of money and power, about happiness is to see people around you happy.
As we sit here today, our beloved Tay has been, as far as I know, hanging on since his stroke, right? And so blessings to Thich Nhat Hanh and his community, and the gift of him. I wanted to say also that if I were hearing that for the first time, there might have been words I wouldn't understand. And I just noticed that I just went to the level beyond the cognitive and just heard the transmission in his voice and the frequency of compassion and presence that was there, that even if I didn't understand the words, I felt the benefit of his energy. And he made that statement. And if you establish yourself in the here and now, you can be happy today.
I went so deep in my listening. At first, when we go off, checking the chat to make sure that everybody has what they need, right? Doing the caretaking, because I value all of you so much. And then I did what you were just talking about, where it's like it took me a minute to kind of tune in to his voice, and I love his voice, and I love the graceful passages piece that you did with him. So that like takes me back to my memory. It was my favorite one. And so I went to the frequency of him, the resonance of his voice kind of first, right? Not really being able to capture the words. But then I went into this deep place of listening where his voice was inside my head. And I could hear every single word and every note of the music and every pause.
It's a journey, isn't it? It's one of my favorite. I call this form alchemical wisdom. And it's one of my favorite ones that has ever come through because of how simple. Every piece is needed. There isn't a single piece of fat in this musical piece in helping us hear what he's really saying. So I thank you for saying that. That's just beautiful. Yeah. I could spend time, now that I've been working with Teresa for 7 days, of allowing myself to savor the moment in this public context, So it's like the layers are opening because of being co-piloting this with you, Teresa.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Our authentic participation in rest, in resonance, that is our contribution here, right? So even though we're hosting and we're doing all the little things to bring all this lovely offering, it's really us embodying it. Yeah.
So this is a pivot moment. I want to then take us into this next, as I think about these rest and resonances, it's like to have the opportunity to reflect and listen with the likes of you, Teresa, and with the community that you've cultivated. So now we're going to go into this. When I started thinking about valuing, I went right to the original stewards of this land, valuing. And how we've uncovered the Black Lives Movement after hundreds of years of getting to this level, but there's also this other big elephant under the rug in American culture. And as we honor January 6th with the best defense possible, which is being loving coherence in every word and action, and then let's go to the source of the honoring of the Trail of Tears. It's a piece on my Great Smoky Mountain album. And I just want to give you a little note, because I'm so tempted to do what I did when this came out 25 years ago and my daughter was 4 years old. I did it as a tone poem. And I actually, someday, I think I'm going to hire somebody to do this, where it's just in the beginning, the Native Americans that have been here for time immemorial, and then all of a sudden you hear the crack of thunder, and then the white man came, right? And so and I took her through the journey. So you can make your own story with this, but it is definitely created to inspire a tone poem of a story of the Native Americans being in this land for tens of thousands of years, America coming, them going through unspeakable tragedy and sorrow and losses. And yet what's emerging is the clarity of their stewardship of the land and how it will actually give us a shot at staying here. So their triumph, this is about their triumph of their ideology and of Gaia herself. And that's what this piece is about. And I won't say anything during it like I did with my 4-year-old daughter, because I'm tempted, but I want you to make your own tone poem, okay?
Yeah, I think that's so beautiful. I mean, I really want to encourage us today to share what we value, right? So if some thought comes up, you can put that in the chat and we can start to see the things that we value. And Gary, I was thinking that, if we all value our lineages, right? We all have a different story based on what our heritage is. And if we could really think about, where we've come and what we honored and valued, what we went through and struggled to hold those values, even in the midst of all of this adversity, and then the triumph that these values are actually at the core of who we are and they're rising again. Like whatever your story is, let this inspire you to send love and value the journey and value, yes, whatever you value.
Fabulous setup for the global perspective. Here we go, the Trail of Tears.
know what I got from that, Gary? I realized, we've spent so much time just heartbroken about the suppression of this wisdom or the journey that we've been on. And I think it's time now to shift to just the embodiment of it. Like, that's the greatest gift that we can give at the end of this particular story and journey, right? That we really embody the values, of our heritage and the things that we hold dear. And that's how we gift back.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to bring Jeff in on this right now. I think that I think we're winging it now in terms of exactly how we pivot back into your world, Jeff, but I want to introduce you. So Jeff, it is such a privilege to introduce you to this world and to my world and to Teresa. It is, you have been one of the most rewarding mentors and friends and allies that I've ever had. And we have such a rich relationship, and we have nurtured this dream that we're going to share today with a new audience. And I'm just so honored. And just, I'll say, normally I don't do a normal bio, but Jeff is an Episcopal minister, and in the mid 80s, when all the Silicon Valley was taking off, he was really one of the originators of the Spirit in Business movement. Mm-hmm. He was the one that went from a very high Tony neighborhood Episcopal priest for the Hewletts and the Packards, and stepped into a leadership role and bringing values into the business world. And he started working with this small company that had about 20 employees. They didn't even have a logo yet. And it's called Cisco. And he's been supporting values-based leadership in places like Cisco for over 40 years. Mm-hmm. Jeff's legacy work that you're going to hear about today, I just needed to properly introduce you, Jeff, because I value you so much in terms of what you stand for. You're a warrior of the light and have been for a long time. So welcome.
Thank you, Gary. It brings me to tears. Thanks so much.
Impressions before, we were going to play your meditation, and I still value the fact, given that January 6th and all that, I want to play it, but I just wondered if you wanted to enter into the conversation now that you've experienced these things with us in this first half hour. Just anything you want to share as we segue to understanding the habits of heroes.
Well, the piece you just did, I've never heard before. And I am so familiar with your work because we use it in our work together. And I've listened to passages for years. And the tribal music, the base chakra of our existence, it's such a beautiful expression of that marvelous wisdom people that we hopefully have not lost. So I want to thank you. That helped me get focused for today, starting at the base and then work my way up. I'll talk more about that in a little bit, but thank you. Thanks. It's a privilege to be here.
Fantastic. So I even though the meditation that you have it's 8 minutes, but let's experience that track, the show up meditation. Is that okay with you, Jeff? We do that, and then we jump. Then you share a little bit about the process.
Absolutely. Good.
Okay, good. All right. So this is a sonic journey again into. Let me just contextualize. This is one of the 12 habits. Jeff, you want to say a little bit just so that people understand what they're about to hear?
Yeah, the habits of heroes are 12 lessons I have learned from my mentors over many years. And when I was developing a mentoring program, I looked for the lessons I had learned that mentors would exhibit when mentoring others. And they fell into a category, they fell into an order on their own. They all have rich stories associated with where they came from, which are incorporated in the actual text of the book, The Habits of Heroes. And they are just 12. I mean, there could have been 36, and we all have the life lessons that have meant the most to us. These are just mine. So they're not to be the habits. They are some habits. And I have taught them to corporate leaders for many years now. And it's changed many lives. And we're offering it now to high school students, formerly incarcerated police officers, when that program ever evolves. And it's just a great reward to see that lives, just by practicing what I call essentially the practice of goodness, changes people's ways of behaving, certainly, and consequently their lives.
And probably equanimous with coherence as well, right? Because often the goodness is very coherent based.
Yes.
One of the things I'll say before we hear this is one of the great strengths of Jeff is his emotional and spiritual intelligence in being receptive to the idea that we all learn in different ways. And my mission around alchemical wisdom, helping us hear wisdom, not just with our minds, but with our hearts and souls and bodies, are more necessary than ever. And I just want to thank you, Jeff, for demonstrating that reality that we all learn and receive in multi-dimensional immersive ways, and that you made your commitment to creating a musical and visual way of experiencing this wisdom is one of the hallmarks of the strength of it, in my view, as well as the legacies themselves.
Thank you.
Yeah. So this one is the one that's for the meditation for show up, right, Jeff?
Correct.
Yeah. And so in the context of the first one, sit quietly. And there's a text and a meditation and other ancillary stuff to experience with all of those things for the month. And then the second one is
show up.
Show up.
Yeah.
And then the third one is
pay attention.
No, the second one is show up. Great. Okay, good. So here we are. Show up. Yes. And a sonic journey. We'll see you on the other side.
The hero habits for show up are purpose, presence, and power. You have come to this time and this place for a reason, for a purpose. And because you have a purpose, you are to live this life on purpose. And your purpose is to be here, now, fully, completely. Purpose is the why of life, why we were made, why we were knit together in our mother's womb, why we are here, why we have come to this place, right here, right now. It is only the distraction of disillusion that keeps you from recognizing your why. Put aside all that is not real, all the barriers to your fullness, and claim your why. The world awaits you. The crowd has gathered. You are about to begin. Presence is what you bring. By your very nature, change can occur. It is already happening. Eyes are awakening, opening to your message, responding to your why, with a what can we do? With a how can we help? Where will we start? When will we begin? Who will be transformed? Do you see it? Can you feel it? When you walk into a room, it is as if there is more air to breathe, more hope to have, more optimism to open the hearts of all who have gathered. You make a difference just by your very presence. Power is the outcome of your purpose and presence. True power is that of service. To give rather than get. To serve rather than be served. To empower the powerless. To heal the wounded. To bring good news to the brokenhearted. To free those who are bound, to raise up the downtrodden, to transform that which is in need. We have waited for you. All of your ancestors have whispered, maybe this is the one we have waited for. Maybe this is the one who will break the back of our family dysfunction. Maybe this is the one who will make the true difference and be the legacy that is ours to claim. Claim your legacy and claim your power that will unleash it. Purpose, presence, power. The hero habits for show up.
Wow, I hadn't heard that for a long time. I want to acknowledge Dan Alvarez as being the creator of that music. He's my longtime creative partner, and wow, that was something. Can we have you on the screen? Let's see. Oh, I think I can do this. There. What's that like, hearing that now for you?
Well, I always like that particular meditation because it's upbeat and it's different in terms of the musical sound. And the purpose is that it really is to lift up the listener to the reality that we truly are called here for a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I've said that to many tens of thousands of business leaders, and helping them understand that their job may not be their purpose, their work is their purpose. And I always ask, what's your work? And we'll always hear about their jobs. And I say, that's very interesting, but what is your work? And that results in a great and deep discussion about the fulfillment of purpose. So knowing our purpose in life, and why so many that I work with and have over the years who seem to be wandering and unclear about why they're here, if we can help others and come to that own realization ourselves that there is a reason for being, then that's the beginning. Showing up with a presence is really how we start to make a difference. And in sitting with people one-on-one, whether they are in hospital or dying or being married or just struggling, presence is everything. And the moment distraction takes over, which is so rampant in our culture today as a result of our technology, and something that we're trying to overcome with the habits of heroes, then true presence is a healing in its own right. Words are not necessary. Presence is everything. And that's when we start to realize our power. The power becomes our legacy. And power is a good thing. You know, it's often misinterpreted. Force is a bad thing. And if you read Power versus Force, you see that difference that was outlined in that wonderful book. Power is our ability to make change and to bring about the greater good and to transform things in need of transformation. And systems that become lethargic and are molting or tired have to go through the transformational stage in order to rebirth and to reform. So it's a lifelong process. That particular meditation kind of wraps it all up in a 8-minute period of the 3 things in life of why, how, and what.
Yeah. And it's interesting being this January 6th today. It feels more fitting than ever. This is the reason I brought you in, because of this way of looking at these scales of valuation, right? And how they actually manifest in the inner ecology of your own system, and how it then, and through the power of teaching to learn, through mentoring, we amplify that experience of presence. And I just think it's, I don't know, perfect for today. Perfect for today. Clarifying our purpose as a nation, as a people, as a species, you know, just so I think that just in the interests of receiving even just a little bit, I'd love you to bless us. You are a priest after all, in a multi-denominational way. I'd love you to give us a little, I'll put some music on in the background. I'd love you to give us a little direct homily of some sort, if you will, just whatever feels appropriate, if you are willing.
Sure, certainly.
Okay, Kaylin, let's put the music on, and we'll just actually keep ourselves on the screen and just let's see what emerges out of Jeff for this moment, for all of us. Nice and quiet music. Thank you. Yeah.
holy and gracious source of life and integration. The unified field of creativity and connection for the purpose of compassion. Help us to remember that what we love, we live. What we believe, we leave. That our lives become our legacy. What we do is based upon who we are. This day I ask for a blessing upon this gathered communion. Souls from all over the world who are open to the power of transformation, of coherence, of courage, creativity, and communion. May we so identify so closely with the consequence of each of our choices that we make decisions that result in integrity and truth and contribute to doing what is right. For those who are hungry, may we help feed them. For those who are broken in any way, may we help heal them. May our voices speak truth and not deception. May our work bring about integration and not disintegration. And someday when people gather to remember who we have been, may they think of how we loved them, how we showed up, how we paid attention, how we walked with humility and honored kindness. We did justice by doing what needs to be done. May we be a people who sit quietly and listen without speaking. May we be nourished by wisdom that is beyond our comprehension, yet available, tapping instantly at any time and any place. It is your hands that formed us in our mother's womb. You have loved us as we have not ever been loved. May we, in just our own small way, be a representative of that great power that can change lives. Bless us, O Creator, to do your work. But let us first be wholly who you have called us to be. Authentic, transparent, kind. That is your wish, I believe, for us. On this day of transfiguration, on this day of epiphany, a day in which your light is being radiated throughout the world through many wise men and women. It is a day of celebration, very different from 1 year ago. We have moved to a place perhaps of a new beginning and a new understanding. And for that, we offer you our thanks. And together in our hearts, we can say, Amen. Or as one child misheard it, she said, I'm in. So we say together, I'm in.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
That actually happened. Little girl at the end of every prayer, she kept saying, I'm in, I'm in. And someone asked her, what are you saying? She said, well, I'm saying what everybody else says. I'm in. No, I'm in.
I'm in. I love it. Oh, Jeff, what a wonderful way to be introduced to you. I feel like you're expressing my heart. You know, for me, the quality of our presence and really relaxing into that so that we can live the lives that we were naturally born to give. It's so much in my heart, and you embody it and you radiate it in the frequency of your love through your voice. Just beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. Not often that I get speechless, but you know, Teresa, man, just having you finally know Jeff, and he's been my beloved friend for 12 years. I don't know how long we've been working together now. Yeah, we're going to stick around because we're going to respect the try to get not past 11, 20 minutes after the hour. We're really working on that. Because we might even play the video of the Habits of Heroes promotional video.
Oh, yeah, please.
Because I think it would be great. And yeah, so why don't we use this moment? It's either powerful beyond measure or it's the courage to dream. And I'm thinking maybe because I think maybe we'll save Courage to Dream tomorrow, and let's just do the film. That is the only known recording of Marianne Williamson saying her famous quote. And this would be coming back down to now the valuing ourselves again, you know, just in the same way that has been the beautiful Show Up we just heard with Jeff. So why don't we play that film, the wisdom film that Louis Schwartzberg set to images. And let's just, again, use your eyes only if it really enhances the sonic experience. And otherwise, just close your eyes and listen to the medicine of the music and the words. Okay, I'll see you on the other side.
What holds us back in our lives is our fear. And sometimes when you take a very close look, you find out that your fears aren't exactly what you thought they were. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It's our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? But actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small doesn't serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us. It's in all of us. And as we let our own light shine, we subconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So it's holy work to move past your own fear. It doesn't just help you, it helps the world.
Mm.
Bring Jeff in too.
Yeah. So valuing and being on top of how we subtly make ourselves not of value. So yeah. Open to whatever you guys want to say.
I think I'm on mute.
No, we can hear you.
Oh, okay.
No, we can hear you. Yeah.
The era of emotional intelligence hit the scenes around 1995. It was in 1988, though, that I started this work, and I called it the practice of inner management because I didn't know anything else. But I knew that there was a wisdom and an intelligence in our limbic system, in our feeling, that was so much wiser than just our cognitive brains. And then the research all came out to support it, which was wonderful, that I didn't feel foolish because it was actually true. And it was one of those researchers who said, if you don't feel your values, you'll never live them.
Mm.
And so the importance of feeling and determining what we value is based on what really we feel. I associated 7 values with the 7 chakras, and they all start with C, so I can remember them. But they're words like compassion, creativity, coherence, communion, caring. And it's a way in which I try to align myself energetically through getting the chakras all in alignment and in trying to live those ways of living, which are not always easy. It's sometimes really tough.
Indeed. Oh God, I love hearing you speak about the maps that you've created, Jeff. It's beautiful. It really is a lot of coherence to it. You can understand why I've loved working with you this long.
Well, so many traditional training programs, and the reason I left parish ministry to go where everyone goes every day, to the workplace, is that people come in and do skill training. They do external stuff on top of the skin. And I always, right from the beginning, said, no, we have to start with who you are. And the first day or two is all going to be about who we are, what we value, what we believe, what are our fears, what are our barriers. And then all the other stuff came so quickly because we took the time. And I was radical in those days of doing that in the workplace, and they were paying me to do this. So it was, and we sometimes had a year waiting list to get into our courses because people were so hungry for this.
Wow.
They would hang outside the room and say, did anybody cancel? Can I come in? Can I come in?
Well, then, that's a perfect segue to why you've engaged the music as an important component. Music being the universal language of emotion, of human emotion, right? So that's what tuned you to a knowing when you sought me out after hearing Graceful Passages, that music has this powerful role to make people aware of or to elicit or awaken feeling, right? So that makes perfect sense that you would line up with that modality of delivery, right?
Yeah. Well, it's one that touches me so deeply, and I'm involved in our local symphony orchestra that opens the hearts of so many with such beautiful performances. But so many mediums of music just are, except polkas. I can't do polkas, but the rest, I think all the rest are just beautiful. Finding Our Sacred Song, the work that you helped produce, that's such a beautiful video. DVD.
You mean Michael Stillwater's work?
Yes.
Yeah. In Search of the Great Song. Yeah. Wonderful.
Just beautiful.
Yeah. Well, this is a moment where we want to have Teresa share, and we're going to just go a little bit over, but it's going to be there where you'll share. We'll also experience the video, and then we'll play the going out last piece to Be Courage to Dream if we have time, just as a dedication to the dream of America on the January 6th. And to just say also that there's an event coming up tonight that I think there's a slide for. So yeah. Okay. We'll see you on the other side of this. Teresa, take us through the different things that we want to do.
We're gonna, I think we'll start with the video.
Great.
Yeah. I really want to honor the work that you're doing, Jeff, and I got to watch that at the beginning before we started. And I think it's a wonderful offering, and in all of the steps are ones that we all are really here to choose and take now. So I think it's a good one to share. And I'm putting the links in the chat in one big swoop, so you can just copy it with one easy copy and then paste it somewhere, and then you can go back and have access to all of them. All right, let's play the video, Galen.
The philosopher Aristotle once said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Hello, I'm Jeffrey Patnode, the founder of the Wingspan Foundation, a nonprofit organization committed to excellence by helping change the habits of those who have been bound by poor choices and often destructive behavior, or by the circumstances of dire poverty and the lack of parental guidance. Through the practice of just 12 habits, participants learn how to spread their wings and soar to their unlimited potential. Formerly incarcerated individuals who are attempting a new life and a new way of behaving have transformed their lives. Hear what Adam has to say about this process.
10 years ago, I don't think I would have said to you, oh yeah, I could go through something like this. My sentence term was 27 months. The harshness, the debasing, the humiliation, and then still coming out of all of this with an interest in wanting to help others. I think going through Habits of Heroes will help me refine that answer. They can't do it alone by themselves. They do need help. So the purpose now is to become one of the heroes and helping to develop habits as a hero so that I can share my knowledge and experience with those in need and impart that knowledge on inmates who are just struggling and who need help to get back into society and become productive.
For high school students in poverty-stricken areas who so often turn to drugs or crime as their solution for survival, our program helps them build a meaningful life where they are able to show up each and every day as their best and most productive selves.
The Habits of Heroes, 12 Practices for the Greater Good, is a proven program that has successfully transformed the thinking and behavior of countless numbers of business leaders and the people they lead. We know it works. Habits like showing up, paying attention, loving your family, and honoring kindness are just 4 of the habits that can change the way we behave and how we treat each other as members of a global society.
Now that we have proven the power this program has to transform someone's life, we want to offer it to some of society's most vulnerable populations at a minimum cost. In these turbulent times, the need for good citizens at all levels of our society has never been greater. To serve as examples and to provide hope and direction towards a better future.
That's where you come in. With your help, we can turn this dream into a reality. For $100, you can sponsor one participant to go through the program, all from the comfort of their mobile device. Plus, you, as the donor, will get immediate access to the 3 foundational practices of heroes as a way for us to thank you for your generosity. All contributions are tax deductible and will help us create a kinder, more empathetic world, one person and one transformative habit at a time.
I love that, Jeff. I'm super excited about the initiative that you have. I'm gonna go and check out those links and join you. And I'm excited to learn them for myself, you know, to continue to share them with my family and friends, especially those that are struggling a little bit, that I can offer some really simple things that really help them come into presence inside themselves. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Do you want to say anything else about the Wingspan Foundation, or?
You might want to get back on screen because the image we're looking at is not the whole image. So might want to get.
You're not seeing my screen?
No, only a half of the image. That's some. So that's okay. We'll just.
Let's try again. Huh.
Well, I can say something about Wingspan.
Yeah, good.
I actually thought you were going to play the show up film of the actual habit. So I thank you for showing this. This is a GoFundMe piece that was just released yesterday. And we're hoping to reach many, many people as a result of a minimal cost. The program normally costs anywhere from $1,800 to $2,900 per person in the corporate world, but we want to almost give this away to many, many tens of thousands of high schoolers and formerly incarcerated. We have 2.5 million people in jail, and there's many who come out who really want to make a difference. Those are the ones that we can get to because they can have access to the internet. So it's very simple. When we learn to practice goodness, and there are many ways to practice goodness, and I quote Rupert Sheldrake now, who Gary introduced me to, and that we create a morphic field, an energy field around us that is coherent and can be transformational. It's what St. Francis carried with him all the time, and any of the great mystics always had surrounding them. It makes a difference because it begins to change the lives of those who come into that field with us, and we connect, we have communion, and that's when hungry hearts are fed. And we've seen it with those high school kids in West Virginia. They live in some of the poorest areas of the country. It's just poverty that's almost unimaginable. That I've been there last summer for our summer camp. It's just unbelievable how many live and have parents that are meth addicts. They live with their grandmothers. They take long bus rides to get to school, and they go through this program. And my hat's off to them. They are some of the greatest kids you can ever get to know. Mm-hmm. And yet those like Adam, who went to jail and his life changed. So it's a great opportunity to be with people when they are ready.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Yeah, we've said on a few of these calls, I think as we move forward in this year, that we consider what we value, feel what we value so that we can live what we value, but then also channel the resources that flow through our lives to the things that we value and that we feel are contributing to the world in a way that reflects our love. And I'm really thinking about that a lot this year of really, how do I use the energy and resources in my life? And this is a beautiful, beautiful offering, Jeff. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. Yeah. My pleasure.
Gary's website, I put that up every day for us because there's so many resources there, and you have access to a lot of what's happening. And Gary, you're also doing an event tonight. And
well, I'm participating in Christy Michaels and Scott Katamas, an evening of really honoring the love and of the American experiment and all that we are all doing together to kind of counteract this anniversary with love and with coherence. So yeah, the link is I think I'll put that it has been in the link. I think it's
I put them in the chats, and I did put them in individually, so you guys, I heard we couldn't copy them. Again, if you haven't signed up for the Global Coherence Pulse happening next Saturday, a week from 2 days from now, with Gary and Shelley, we'll be able to keep dropping into this beautiful container we've had. And again, I want to encourage you, if you want to be in a community who is practicing presence and resonance and coherence and joining together so that we can really learn what it means to be an island of coherence in this life, come and join us. It's a safe harbor. It's a beautiful community. And I'm going to keep inviting.
And Jeff, your Habits of Heroes needs to be an island in this. You have to be a part of that community, Jeff. It's wonderful.
Definitely. And tomorrow we have Julie Kroll, who's on. I'm going to bring her in. So as we're doing our closing thing, we can have Julie. But if you want to say something about that, Gary.
Well, Julie is the reason this is all happening. She introduced me to Shelley and Jan 2 months ago, and the vision came for Rest and Resonance. And then everything happened when Teresa said, I'll join you. And so I want to celebrate that. But also the beauty of Julie is she's a master synthesizer, like this just sense of looking at the whole and feeling, because her whole world is all things connected, good of the whole, the foundation that she has. There is this sort of integrating power that Julie brings that we're all going to celebrate together, the completion of the Rest and Resonance event, the growth that we've gone through, that I've gone through in deepening my understanding that we're hungry for this way of sharing. And you don't have to avoid the glare. No, it's the fire that we're all surrounding. It's not about here. It's about what fire are we surrounding together? How are we paying attention to the nuance? Julie, can you get on screen for a second, and then we'll play cards, because we got to end and respect people's time. Julie, hey, honey. Meet Jeff Patnode, and we're going to celebrate with you tomorrow.
I can't wait. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be exciting. And it is. I love the idea of the synthesis of bringing this entire journey into a completion and yet the next step, like holding this presence, carrying this presence. And like Thich Nhat Hanh encouraged us, be in this moment to really be fulfilled and happy and carry it forward. So I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to it. And I know Gary has some incredible surprises for us tomorrow. It's amazing what he keeps. His treasure chest is so epic and cosmic. And last night he texted me something and I fell off the roof. I was like, oh my gosh, I know he's a rock star, but when he said what he said to me, a surprise he's going to bring.
No, we're
tomorrow,
saving it. We're saving it for you tomorrow, Julie.
I am like so excited.
You want to tell them
so
what you're
excited.
talking about?
No, we're going to do it tomorrow. We got to bring him back. It's amazing what, we
Great.
don't even know Gary Malkin. He's full of surprises. It's going to be epic. And yeah, it was a beautiful show today, a beautiful hour. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Jeff. Really nice to feel your presence and your vibrational frequency that we've been talking about in this coherent field. So thank you.
Jeff,
what a beautiful day.
Jeff's going to be a perfect guest on your various shows. So listen, okay, I want us all, the four of us, to actually be the sacred container holders of the courage to dream. And luckily we will end by the 30-minute after the hour because this will be complete by then. And I'd like this music to be a sacrament, an homage to the dream that is America, beyond politics, but the dream of liberty and justice for all, right? Let this music put a ping into the field with our intention. We all know, the indigenous people know, that the drum and the chant anchor us in this world because the sound carries intention to the field in a very elegant and accelerated way. So we need the archetype of music when it's created to generate life and awareness and coherence and connection. We're going to send this energy out using this music as a way to spread love to everyone, remembering the beauty of the dream that is America. This is the
Gary, can I say one thing really quick?
Yeah. You mean after that poetic introduction, you're going to say something?
I know, it was beautiful.
No, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I keep, when I am in the chat, I keep forgetting to go to everyone. And so no one read this, but Teresa, but during the indigenous experience of the Trail of Tears, I saw my ancestors as the pioneers coming over here to create this land and to be America. So this is perfect for January 6th, right? But I also felt the deep grief of the Pawnee who were displaced and, the trauma. And after that, the Trail of Tears, I really felt this integration of, and I am both. And I am both. And so just embracing the indigenous and that connection to the land and the water and the seed and the sacred, and yet knowing I had that American dream. And so really calling us on this January 6th to be the whole again, to be both and have no separation. Thank you. That piece was so powerful. By the way.
Very perfect. You said that. Thank you, Julie. Okay, this is The Courage to Dream, and we'll just briefly say goodbye afterwards.
And let no molecule left untouched by our love.
Courage to Dream. May this day and this moment be an offering to the dream and the beauty and of the vision of justice for all.
Mm.
And I just want to say the privilege of being able to share my work with this purpose has been probably one of the most rewarding experiences of my professional life that I can remember. To have the opportunity to repurpose the work in service to the altar of what we're all facing today is just, and with your company, it's just been a remarkable privilege. Thank you for the honor of that.
I had one comment from Will Durant, who said, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence is not an act, but a habit," which is from Aristotle. But we have to watch how we behave.
Yeah.
So closing comments, anybody? We're just ready to wrap it up now.
Yeah, I just want to have everybody, today just really be deeply feeling what you value. And really put yourself first and foremost, right? Really value yourself and the quality of your presence.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Jeff, thank you so much for being here. Julie, I'll see you tomorrow. All of you, thank you for being a part of this beautiful listening revolution. I love it, calling it that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be sure to check out the 7 Days of Rest and Sacred Renewal website. There's so many beautiful things there.
And people have asked where can the replays happen? It's also at the Global Coherence Pulse website, correct?
Yeah, the links are there, Global Coherence Pulse website, or you can just